Yes, hi everybody.
Hey Maria, where are you dialing in from?
I'm dialing in from the UK.
Ah, we thought from Australia. We were like, oh gosh, it must be midnight.
Yeah, we're both in the UK. I'm in the Midlands, Pete's down in London.
Okay. Peter, did your connection get a little bit better because you were like before?
Yeah, unfortunately, my internet connection where I'm staying has decided to play up of all days today. So in the event that it drops out, Maria will very aptly take over for me.
I'll continue, sure.
Okay, great. But right now it seems to be stable. So I don't know if you were able to listen in. I think I saw Peter listening in before as well. So the rant that we are doing in these 30 minutes is obviously a short introduction to both of you guys. Then one of you or together, you do a 60 seconds pitch on what RMS is and does. And then if you prepared some slides or presentation or live demo, whatever, we'll dive into that. And maybe, maybe for the first time ever, there will be someone giving us 10 minutes to ask questions.
Well, it's the last straw of the day,
right?
So we will ask our questions anyway.
I'm just saying, in 18 minutes, we'll have gin tonics, whatever happens.
Well, we're very happy to be joining you guys today, so thank you.
Well, thank you. The thank you goes out to you guys as well to be so spontaneous and jumping on the conference. So whomever wants to take it, Maria or Peter, it's your time and it's your stage.
No worries. I'm going to start off. We've just prepared a small presentation slide that I'd like to take people through that just talks a little bit about RMS. I'll be doing that for a few minutes, and then Maria is going to take over and jump into the system and just show you some of the core features and functions. But by all means, if there's any questions, please butt in and we would love to answer those for you. So just allow me to present my screen. Okay, can everyone see the screen, hopefully?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. So RMS, the Hospitality Cloud, we were founded over 35 years ago in 1987, and we have offices.
Maria, just a quick break. Yeah, can you
hear in Australia, but we have offices in Singapore, China. Yeah.
Your connection is breaking. Maybe the connection of Maria is better.
Yeah, a little bit distorted, P. Can you hear me all okay?
Yeah, we can hear Maria like she would be sitting next to us.
Sure. I can continue on, Pete, if you prefer, if you want to just keep the slides on. I'll continue on.
Running.
Yeah, I'll continue on. So as Pete was saying, absolutely, the company started out in the early 1980s, so we've been going over 35 years, and we're proud to have offices now over in Melbourne, the main HQ in Australia. In addition to that, we've recently gone into Singapore, China, the UAE, India, and obviously we have an office down in Kent for all the UK sales and support. We are privileged to be the most preferred supplier to some of the world's largest and most prestigious hotel groups, independents, single properties, hotel chains, apartment providers, and so on. And I'll share with you in the next slide just some of our core verticals. And in line with that, we've got some experience with, I'd say, certainly the most luxurious end of the marketplace through to the corporate groups. And in line with that, we've been able to do lots of customized enhancements for those to capture, you know, invoice layouts, stationery, and more recently, certainly all of the you know, the levies that come with the taxes in Europe, France, and obviously over in China as well. We're very experienced in delivering very large scale projects. So project management is something that's obviously at the core of what we do. We have a free open API, which enables easy access and integration to create a full ecosystem for your property. So if you have a desirable company that you wish to work with, you know, anything is achievable essentially through the open API that we have. And in line with that, we also are very successful to have now 6,500 properties live within RMS Cloud in over 43 countries. And the product is delivered in Arabic, English, French, German, Japanese, Maltese, Spanish, and even Thai languages, just to showcase some of the actual delivery. So in terms of verticals who we work with, I'll just carry on to the next slide. As I said, we have hotels, hotel chains, resorts. Then we go through to service department operators, providers, mining, defence camps. We even work with, lettings to do with shopping centres, vacations, condos, caravan parks and campgrounds, which is where the company began, and also marinas, particularly in North America and the UAE. So, a huge diverseness of verticals there, just to share with you whom we do work with in service. The next slide I'll carry on through. This is just a little bit about, creating your ecosystem. So essentially the software will sit on any platform from desktops to mobile, and within one central place you can power your GDS, your online travel agency partners. Third-party access can be obviously achievable through the API if needed. So we can do business intelligence, the whole rate manager, the revenue manager piece, reputation management, access controls, and so on and so forth. And just to conclude through, I'll carry straight through. The software is coded in HTML5, so obviously that consists of several layers as shown here in the diagram. So just from a technical perspective, if anybody is streaming this or wants to have a look, obviously we fully support any platform that the software can be delivered on in terms of a true cloud and a true cross-platform application as well. Okay, and sorry. In terms of security, we are privileged again to have some really high accolades and awards that certainly some of our, our PMS providers don't have. So the software is written in SOC 1, SOC 2. And we also have accredited the IBM Cloud Security Policy that you'll see here as well. Full PSI DSS obviously incorporated into the software, but again, just to share with you some of the awards that we've been accredited with. So thank you everybody so far. That is just a generalized introduction into the product, and I can take you into some of the high level features now for a couple of minutes on each core feature, if that's okay.
Sure enough. Peter, if you want to try or add or whatever, it was just breaking before, maybe it's better now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Very good. Hello, welcome back. All right, so I just wanted to very briefly touch on FedRAMP certification, because as we understand, we're the only PMS vendor in the world to have achieved FedRAMP certification. So what that actually allows us to do is hold non-classified military data for the US government. So we have a number of governments with defence forces, or a number of contracts with Defence Force in America. So as you can imagine, the security requirements are incredibly stringent, and that's an annual certification process that we have to flow through. Just before Maria jumps into some of the core features of the software, I just wanted to talk on the last couple of slides that we've got here. We've built an inbuilt channel manager into our software solution, and we did that a number of years ago before it was probably considered a critical requirement of most PMSs to have that level of functionality. And so we've got direct integrations with a list of around about 70 different channels and a whole range of different channel managers as well. And the idea behind this move was to create a single point for the teams that are operating your properties, either from a head office level down to a property level, stay within the one software application. So all of your rate, inventory, and restriction management can be actually performed from within the software that Maria will show you a little bit later, including multi-bar derived rates and integration with platforms such as Ideas, Duetto, RoomPass, Genie, and Pace. So we're really quite proud of the rate management capabilities that we've built into the software, and certainly the feedback that we receive from revenue managers globally is that some of the most sophisticated they've seen in a PMS. So just speaking to channel management, again, trying to simplify the application delivery, potentially remove some cost from the cost per booking as well by removing a third-party middleware. And obviously, lots of vendors prefer to just open up their doors and allow channel managers to integrate in, which we also do as well. And that also enables people to have what we call a blended distribution map. So you can use our direct interfaces from RMS into, for instance, booking.com and Agoda, and then still maintain a connection through a channel manager if you have some specific channels that are producing for you that you would like to maintain. One of the other really exciting features that's being delivered at the moment is some new development and enhancement to our portals. So at the moment, we have effectively 3 operating portals. We have a guest portal to enable you to do all of your relationship management with your guest. We have a corporate or agent portal for your business account customers and your travel agents in order for them to manage those relationships. We also have our staff portal or service portal, which is designed for, at the moment, housekeepers, but we're just about to expand that through to all departments within an operation. So housekeeping, maintenance, the bell desk, porters, etc., will all be able to use the RMS service portal. And you can see on the screen there, there's some basic functions like the ability to start, stop task times for cleaning, being one of the most expensive or costly items to hotel operators. This enables you to actually run some really great performance statistics on how the cleaners are performing versus their actual hours allocated. So that'll be coming out in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. So you'll be hearing some news from us shortly about that. And then Maria also spoke about our third-party integrations via our REST API. And so again, we wanted to make the process of integrating to RMS as easy as possible. And so we recently kind of revisited our entire view on this, and we've removed all of the roadblocks, whether they be financial or any other manner, to enable third-party partners to integrate with RMS. So our API is publicly available on our website. Anybody can look through the developers page and get access to the API. There's a whole series of test credentials in there as well. So you can theoretically start.
I think his internet is limited to 5 minutes and then it just breaks.
Maybe if he takes video out, like he has only the voice.
Yeah. Peter, in case you can hear us,
into RMS straight away. And the only validation that's required is a common client.
Peter, we lost you again 30 seconds ago. Maybe take out your video and just go on audio. Maybe then it's better. Or Maria, if you hear us, you can take over again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Now we can hear Peter.
Yeah.
Or not. Maria, I think you need to take over.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so
that we have, the better.
No, let's have Maria talk, and because Peter, you're breaking in and out.
okay, well, what I'll do then, that really concludes our slides that we had prepared for you. So I'll take you into the product and just spend a couple of minutes on each core feature, if that's okay, everyone. So let me just share my screen with yourselves. 1 second.
Sure. All right, we can see it already.
Brilliant. Okay, so hopefully you should be able to just see the dashboard on the screen there, everybody. Yep. Okay, fabulous. So I'll just talk to you a little bit firstly about multi-property. So obviously within the software itself, whether you're viewing or searching a reservation, whether you're making a booking, viewing one of many reports that we have, checking availability rates, inventory, all of that, the software can be encompassed into a central database. So you'll see I have 4 different databases built into this specific one I'm showing you today. Or of course you can just have the single property dedicated to the database case by case, dependent on if you're a group or an individual operator. So the benefit obviously is you've got global profiles, you have shared reports, you can dissect and segment those down and manipulate the content as and how you wish, really. And that follows suit within all aspects of the reservation. As I said, from making a reservation to viewing your inventory, you could say, look, show us all properties or just show us one individual. So the software is really user friendly, obviously based on user access, which is completely derived by which takes me into point number 2, really. So within the software itself, if you're a system administrator, of course, you would have full open access to this core part here, all of your setup. So in terms of access, you'll have a hierarchy of security profiles, right the way from, you know, administrator, managerial, right the way through to your concierge, housekeepers, and so on and so forth. So everything is dictated by a simple yes or a no, or even a read-only filter within the system. So you can see I've got a range of profiles in here preset, and then every single user will be attached to one or more profiles. And the nicety is they can also have dual profile access as well. So deterred really by obviously their job role. So every single user will be listed in here. And as I said, they will then be attached to their relevant profile or profiles, of course, which will then encompass their property or properties that they can or can't access. So everything is again really you know, dedicated at the time of setup. We work quite heavily with the user to go through what they can, what they can't access. And just to show you the flexibility of that, if I look at my accounts and finance option just in here, you can see this is essentially all parts of the software that are essentially built together, and we have an allow or a read only option, as I've just said. And it's just a case of going into the relevant filters. So I can see I have full access in here to accounting, as I would quite rightly expect. And it's just a simple yes or a no if the user can or can't access particular features. So again, really, really user friendly on the profile part and setup of the software. What I'd like to talk to you about is probably, for me, the most powerful part of the software, and certainly one of the most core areas. Pete just spoke there about the rate manager screen in terms of how we can encompass all rates inventory to the outside world, to the OTAs. If of course you're built in true enterprise, you'll select the relevant property or properties that you want to come into. And if I just look at our London property here, for example, we can see firstly all of our categories and our room types here on the left, or we can view that by the channel. We can view it by the rate type or package instead. So there's lots of nice filters at the top here that we can ascertain. But in terms of setting restrictions to the channel manager, to our own website, this is exactly where we'd come to. So rather than going into your booking.com portal, your Expedia portal, we're essentially just managing this all within the PMS itself. So what can we do in here most importantly? Well, anything to do with how we want to manipulate our rates, how we want to preset them. So if we want to apply a stop sell, do a rate adjustment across the board, then this is where we come to do that. And then equally anything to do with our allotments, a minimum length of stay, all of the, you know, the relevant kind of core components that a revenue manager, you know, or a res manager would be wanting to do will be fulfilled and supported in here. So the screen layout is really nice and consistent all the way through. So we can preset date intervals up here. We can preset a particular night of the week. Certainly a Sunday night always used to be a really hard night for me to fill when I managed hotels, the graveyard shift I'd always call it. You know, and what we can nicely do is we can then dictate our channels just here on the left, whether that's an OTA partner, whether that's, as I said, our own website, and we can close out particular days, date intervals, or even actually say, look, when occupancy hits a particular threshold, just close out. So again, we can nicely manipulate our rooms, our room types, and our rate plans that are mapped as well. So really, really powerful throughout the software to obviously apply restrictions. Pete also just mentioned also there about multi-bar as well. So if you have a hierarchy of rates, you'll see in here I've got bar A, bar B, bar C. But for example, if you wanted to next week change that, so we can set the bar, we can come into the rate manager screen, and within one click, we can then change it. So again, we haven't got to go through all of our rate tables, all of our rates, and actually do that. We can just within one click preset the rate we're wanting to sell to, and then again change the day or the date intervals, and within one hit that sync has gone up to all the channels in the outside world. So we fully support dynamic pricing, we fully support anything to do with promotional codes, derive rates, all of that's completely in the rate manager screen. And if the user wants to get even more you know, sort of specific data, reports and algorithms, of course we do connect with the likes of Duetto, Pace, you know, many fantastic revenue tools as well. So that can all be achieved through the API. Another core screen is making of a reservation, of course, whether it's a single, a group, an event reservation. We can conjoin all of that together by using what we call Quick Quote. So in terms of just looking up rates and inventory, we'll select the property or again the properties because of the enterprise functionality. We'll put the core information in here on the left. And before we hit get a quote, we search by either the room type category that we want, or we can just search by the rate plan. So if I just say, show me all of my rates potentially for today, hit get quote. Obviously I'm reliant on RMS to give me that intel back. So it does exactly that. It will come back nice and simple with a list of the different rate plans fulfilled by the categories that are available here at the top. We can incorporate discounts, discount codes, and then it will give you first night prices, the total price, package price, if there's, you know, breakfast, dinner components and so on, any deposits that need to be paid. And to book or to block book, we just simply select the category that we want, and then the rooms, if we're allocating at this point, they're down here. Or what we can do even more to that is we can just select the specific value. So if I just said, look, I want all 6 rooms, I can block book and nicely encompass that to almost like an itinerary. So it's really user friendly. And then we just hit proceed, which takes us directly into the reservation to then make that booking. So really straightforward. You know, to within Quick Quotes search different rates. We could then go back and say, well, actually, we also want some inventory for July, August. So we can block book as many times as possible. So nice and user friendly within the software. Also wanted just to share with you in terms of correspondence. So of course, when a reservation is made through the booking chart or through Quick Quote, of course, it will appear naturally on the chart. At the time of booking, we can either manually push out an email or an SMS to our customer, and we can do that in here just by selecting the template or templates that we wish to put out. But furthermore to that, obviously, we have an automated facility. And again, I just take you back to setup. So within our correspondence filters in here, all of our form letters are obviously stored in here securely, and any SMS templates also. But in terms of anything we want to automate, whether it's a welcome letter a day before arrival, a post-departure stay, you know, 48 hours, 24 hours after checkout, then we can do all of that within here. Surveys, newsletters, you know, everything like that also is really powerful. And we also use this for our own marketing and branding within the software as well. So again, you can just pre-select SMS, email, whichever your correspondence is needed to be. And it's just a case of having a correspondence template dropped into here. And then we can set our frequency as to when we want it to send and who we want it to send to. So all of those filters are nicely achievable through here with the option to validate particular days. So it can go out certain times of the year, or it can only go out against particular room types booked or rate plans booked, and even sources and segments. So really clever feature in terms of marketing. Nice and powerful.
Cool. So let's maybe just jump into 2 final questions and then sum it up. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, Maria, I mean, it looks really nice and intuitive. Just one question from my side in terms of customization opportunities. Is that possible to somehow, you know, hide fields or rename fields in the software, or is it basically all set up and can't be customized?
No, absolutely. That's one of the core beauties really of the PMS. So within the setup, again, everything's fully customizable. Within the reservation screens itself, we can half some of what you see. We can reorder. We can also rename particular features and labels of what you see. So for example, a hotel would have, you know, they might have rooms, whereas our park market might use the terminology unit. As opposed to, you know, rates or tariffs. There's lots and lots of pre-configuration we can do at the time of setup. And again, certain filters you may or you may not record to do with the rate, to do with the profile. We can remove these, and we can also add in spare filters. So it's very customizable.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have two sort of related questions. So number one is, like, you were just showing us on the correspondence, and it's really great how customizable that is. You were showing us how that you can do surveys and you can time it. Could you theoretically, and that goes back as well to the sessions we had earlier today, could you theoretically do some simple form of upselling there by saying, I don't know, 3 days before arrival of the guest, send out XYZ?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it's really designed to do. It's a very informal way to upsell. You know, whether it's, you know, is there anything else you need? Would you like a room upgrade? Would you like the flowers, the champagne? Absolutely. So it's a great way to upsell and to increase occupancy as well of other room types. If, you know, you've got too many standards booked out and you want to enhance, you know, the ARR, absolutely. It's very much designed around that you know, that emphasis.
That, I mean, you
Sorry.
sorry.
So muted.
Great, and linked to that, you get a lot of data and a lot of insights back through that. I assume you have like a reporting tool, but do you have as well some analytics, or which like BI or analytics tools are you linking to? Like, are you connected to get that insight?
Yeah,
because I
absolutely.
mean, this is one thing of today, right? We talked so much about data in all different aspects, be it from a security aspect, be it from upsell, be it from personalization. So, or RMS, like, so like, what do you do with it? So this is
absolutely, like, yeah, it's all well and good selling a campaign, but how effective is it in terms of recounts, looking at the, you know, the bounce backs, the subscription rates. We also have this electronic digital module, very much like a MailChimp. And if this doesn't suffice, you can also build your own reports and do direct SQL statements within what we have under utilities. It's our report writer in here. So you can export all of your data, because of course it's yours. We're just backing it up and hosting it for you. But once you've sent a campaign out, whether that's via SMS, whether that's via email, just to share with you in here, it's all then about, well, how effective has it been? What was the campaign? You know, was it successful? How many people read it? And really doing that follow-up of course, of your campaign. So in here, this would show you all of your scheduled campaigns that you've obviously sent, and you can see how many people it went to. And if I just show you in here a couple of reports that you can then ascertain afterwards, this is exactly where you'd come. So if I look at one with, say, let's just look at one with an open rate here. You can see in green is anything that's physically been opened, red is anything that's unsubscribed, and blue is any further clicks. And then at the bottom, it will obviously show you your statistics and your top clicks if you've obviously put URLs. So you can see you've got an open list. So this is a physical email blast that we've done. You can see the last time it was opened and at what time. How many people have unsubscribed? Equally very important. Well, you know, they're not liking the offer, they're not interested in the brand any longer. Any further clicks or links, if you've put any URLs, of course, on there. Any bounces and why, you know, how healthy is the data or not? And again, any fails and receipt searches. So this is just some of what you can have a look at. And this is obviously the preview of the physical campaign that you've sent. So statistically, all of it's there, and you can see, as I said, click-throughs, open rates, and progress of when it was sent.
And that's great. And I saw as well on the left, you have like dashboards and charts. So like you can certainly pull that up as well. This looks like a very nice rounded solution you have there. Like, fantastic.
Thank you. Yes, it's a fantastic module, and we, in line with that, just to share, we have also launched our guest rewards. So in terms of profiles, we're now able to put a multiplier into the software that allows you to redeem and accumulate points and offset that against stays, or offset revenue or free nights and things like that. So that's another powerful part of the marketing, of course, if you're reaching out to the right people.
Wow, very cool.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. And just to add to that as well, so obviously data and data analytics is a huge part of everyone's kind of journey these days, and the idea of making sure that you've got good quality data that you can analyse to help you make the right business decisions. And to that end, there's two things. So we obviously have around about 13 interfaces to external BI tools. So, if people are looking for a specific business BI tool, we can certainly recommend one that's got previous experience in integrating with us. And conversely as well, you can build your own dashboards within the software, and expose the type of fields that are relevant to you, and effectively create as many dashboards as you like, one for front office, one for your revenue team, one for your general manager.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, so we are trying to make ice cubes over there, and we're discussing about for the gin tonics. All right, so I think we are beyond time.
There on the left, like
what's that?
Down on the bottom, they did highlight us. Come to our virtual session.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So thank you both, Maria and Peter. Peter, pity that the connection was a little bit tricky. But thank you for spending your afternoon with us and highlighting RMS. That was actually pretty interesting for me. It was the first time I ever saw RMS. So that was really interesting, and we'll be happy to share that as well. Final question, Lena.
Yes, the question we ask everyone at the end. So how can anyone reach out to you? Where are you at in the next days?
Anytime via LinkedIn, via the website rmscloud.co.uk, or certainly via LinkedIn is probably the best for me. I'm in the UK, and Pete will be going back to Australia at the end of the month. Anytime via our website or LinkedIn is best.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Me too.
Yeah.
But he'll be back in the UK soon.
Like for them, summer is like
No, but now it's still summer.
No, it's getting to
March.
autumn. It's
March.
getting to autumn.
You got to remember though. Australia's just had its worst bushfire season, and now it's currently being hit by cyclones. So it's not as great as you think from a weather perspective. But yes, I am looking forward to getting home.
Where are you going to the Sydney?
Say again?
Are you going to Sydney again?
No, I live in Melbourne. Our head office is in Melbourne, so I'm down in St Kilda, down by the beach in Melbourne. It's lovely.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm still jealous. Anyhow.
Well, they will be jealous on our gin tonics.
Yeah.
Actually, without ice cubes now, but that doesn't matter. That's okay. So thank you again, Maria and Peter, for your time. We are wrapping up here. We are looking forward to see you guys soon, hopefully. And thank you for the 35, 40 minutes, whatever.